Yeah.
All right, call to order, yay.
Yeah.
Everyone's here, yay, call to order, done. Next, accept minutes from last month is.
Can we get them?
Logs, HVAC systems, and playground equipment. District taxes not have in 2026.
Sent them right after the last meeting.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
I'm thinking back.
Yeah.
Not thinking back far enough. Yeah, I feel like it was.
It was sent out. Did you send the minutes, Linda?
Pardon me?
From last month?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. You know what, we'll just, everyone go look at it.
Yep, yep.
All right, fine. City budget, we got 15 grand. That's it.
Yeah.
So we sell the money, we have to pull over. So we have to take last year's 2024 money and we have to put that to email Heather,
We have to encumber that, yeah.
encumber it into next year, as well as the $5,000 from the light bulbs has to go over as well.
Yep. I'd hope to get that invoice in now. I brought the quote and everything, but
Okay, hold
at
on.
least part of it.
So those two, we have to email Heather to make sure that those funds get over into next year. I think that's it, right? Those are the two then. Yeah, I don't know if you know, but they bought all the electrical lawn equipment.
Oh, good.
So they did that. So that is all done, which is good. Yay, good. New members. Partners for Climate Action Pollinator Grant. Grant is submitted
Yeah,
and that's it, we're just waiting.
we're just waiting. They said they're gonna decide in
Great.
January.
Yeah, that's.
Trade ordinance, any
I-
movement?
Talked to Craig.
Oh, and
He does not think that this should live inside code enforcement. Pretty unequivocally, strongly. And suggested maybe DPW or a new thing that is not, or that if there was, there would have to be money attached to it, et cetera, et cetera.
we should.
so-
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think we're sort of back to like square one on figuring out, or we can talk to
You talk to DPW.
DPW.
See what the law says.
Um,
He's not gonna want to enforce it either.
what?
He's probably may not want to enforce it either.
I mean, he also raised, an issue which I don't entirely understand the parameters of, which is there's apparently, he has the right to access people's properties or inspect them under a very like narrow set of things in the current code. And that's like, a question for legal committee or corporation council or something about how that would even work. But he also raised that as an issue.
Who Craig did.
Great. Yeah.
So what's the next step?
Are you able to, or? Perfect.
Okay.
There, great.
Yay. So what do you think the next step is then?
Rob?
Talk to Rob.
Rob?
Craig indicated that he would guess that Rob would feel the same way that he did about it landing in his department. But we can talk to Rob. But like, it seems about right if I were to guess.
So Rob has been involved with the street tree planting.
Yeah.
So at least there's been some.
Yeah.
Minimum communication.
So, yeah.
See what Rob says, get his opinion on it. Otherwise, we'll have to go back to a tree board.
A tree board, and that just seems like that's how this all fell apart the first time, was like,
Yeah.
and so we're back where we were. It didn't work when we tried to get the council to pass. This was the sort of like previous iteration.
I mean, we could barely get this board should be 9 people.
Yeah.
You could barely get a group of us
Yeah,
together.
you could add it as an addendum to this board, I guess, but it just starts to get,
Maybe it goes into, maybe it falls under us jurisdiction, I guess.
you could certainly write whatever you wanted, right? Like, but like, I don't know that. I think that's literally all we do, right? It's like approve people's tree permits.
How many could there be? And I say that, I'm probably gonna regret even saying that.
Yeah, I think I think Craig was like, oh, I had like 4, he doesn't even, so he's like, I don't do sidewalks, that's DPW. And they were like, he had like 5 people talking to him about sidewalks just today. And it's like, just like, that's an example of the volume that you can invite upon yourself if you're taking on, there's a lot of trees in the city of Hudson. Like, there's a lot
And
of
this
people.
code is a broader one than what our street tree responsibilities are, obviously, yeah.
Well, this is the question, right? Like there was I think a discussion about exactly how broad or narrow to draw that.
Yeah.
Whether it, and the absolute narrowest would be just the public way, so just the street trees, and then the previous proposal which failed was a much broader.
Mhm.
I could start small,
This was my,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I sort of took this on just to, I felt bad letting it go to nothing, but I talked to Rob. And
Okay.
And just to like get his feel, I can feel him out, which is basically what I did with Craig.
You know, Hillary took this law from like Rhinebeck and
Yeah.
Saugerties.
Mhm.
Maybe ask Rhinebeck and Saugerties.
I think they have a tree board. They have a
Do you
tree
have a
board.
tree board?
Yeah. That is how we got into that.
See that? I don't know.
What?
Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna manage.
I mean, yeah,
I mean, these towns aren't that much bigger than us. I mean, they manage a tree board as well.
apparently.
Are they effective?
Yeah,
Or they stay bored?
I feel like if it was narrowed down just to street trees, you could make a better argument to DPW than the broader thing, right? Like if it's just street trees, they're already responsible for the public way. They're already responsible for sidewalks. It's like it fits sort of more neatly than the broader one.
I mean, I like the idea of starting small with something that we can accomplish.
Yeah.
There's no point in having aspirations if we can't achieve them
Yeah.
at this point. And if there is a parks person who eventually comes in,
Yeah.
then
You can imagine it
dream
living-
parks person, then it could be
Yeah.
expanded.
That seems like the other route is like if we're already going to have a parks department, maybe, I don't know, you or.
Any updates on parks?
Yeah, I think it's next to the agenda.
Yeah.
Or,
I mean, I have a street tree. It was hacked to bits this past week because of National Grid. They hacked like almost half of it. It was awful, awful. I don't even, because National Grid subcontractor, I don't even know how you stop them.
I don't, yeah,
You
I actually, yeah.
Awful. I don't know. I don't know a solution.
Okay. I'll talk to Rob and then, feel him out on the various different permutations.
I'm so sorry.
See what he says.
Yep.
All right, okay, well, let's just keep that on the agenda. Well, maybe somebody will come to us. Community choice aggregation.
This is also, at the moment, Rob and I are in touch about the RFP that we drafted a while back. It has found its way to the Public Works Department as well
Yeah.
to issue the RFP. Rob had some questions. The Public Service Commission oversees the Community Choice Aggregation Program in New York, and he had some questions about some of their requirements around contracting.
Yeah.
Specifically, that he wanted to make sure we're in the public notice RFP language. So it's back on me to do a little further research on those pieces. And then he said that a public notice would need to be put in the paper, the Register Star. It costs money to do that per word. $100 or $300 depending. I assume we have some funds if needed to come out of here versus
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
department. So I need to draft that. He gave me some examples. So just a few more steps than I had hoped, just in terms of this very long loop that has taken a year to find our way to run. And I haven't had extra time to develop these pieces, so hoping to get on that soon. So that's where we are with that.
Once we get that approved, we get lots of points for that, if anything else. Okay, great. Yay, thank you. Anti-idling laws, I think.
No,
No.
I worked on that. I sent a draft around earlier today
Oh,
or
okay.
yesterday. I don't remember which.
Oh, by the way, okay, go ahead.
Erin and I met recently, looked at the existing draft that we had. And I know some folks, I know you had looked at and given some previous feedback. I went to the Kingston site to get their anti-idling site that New York State has an anti-idling for heavy duty vehicles. New York City has a 3-minute rule for all vehicles. Kingston has one that is 10 minutes. Their language was very simple and straightforward, so I actually preferred most of that. I still kept some of what was in ours, but went with the Kingston language. Erin and I were talking about length. We thought 5 minutes actually was something we wanted to plug, so that's what's currently in that draft. There's some questions around like the penalty, how much that is. So we put in some numbers that were in the previous draft, but yeah, please take a look and drop any feedback you have, and then we can.
And who would enforce that, police?
Police or parking enforcement. So it's called, yeah, that's called that in the draft too. And I looked at the specific codes for the city which apply, so those ones are referenced.
We should probably bounce it off of them as well.
So the police or the parking.
Police, yeah, parking, whoever's going to enforce it, we should bounce it off of them first.
Would we do that before sending to legal, or legal first and then, I don't know. That's a good process.
We should probably bounce it off of the people who are going to enforce the law, like you did with Craig, before we give it to legal, because.
To be clear, he was very so appreciative to have
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things happen, they don't involve the people who are actually gonna end up doing the work.
Yeah.
So it's just out of professional politeness too, I think, we should bounce it off of them first. Because they might be like 5 minutes, they might have other recommendations, who knows what. But, okay, good.
But please, if you didn't get it, let me know. I can
Did you send it to the group email?
send it. Use
Yeah,
your group
that's
email.
Okay, that's probably why, yeah. I
You know,
forgot to click on it.
I'll be honest, I'm not liking the group email too much because it's a whole separate thing. I now am sending everything to people individually because the group email, you have to go to a different area in order to see it.
And you can never organize that because it's everybody's inbox.
It's, yeah, I mean, I appreciate it, but I give it up.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you very much.
I'll resend it, just.
Yeah.
You're in there.
I don't realize, I don't check the group emails. That's probably where the minutes are, where I didn't see it. Sorry, Linda.
I saw it, Lynn.
Okay, let's move on. So thank you very much. So resend that and then bounce that off of parking enforcement. Well, I'm sure they'll end up doing it, probably not police. But yeah, see what they say. Okay, so the grant application, so I need to forward that to Vicky, which I haven't done.
Okay, if you want me to do it, I can send it, that's fine. I'm sorry to put it on your.
Oh, yeah, no,
Wanted to
look.
come From you.
But her email is there, right? Her email
Yeah,
is there. Okay, fine.
her and Tyler and stuff.
Vicky and Tyler. Okay, I will do that. That's fine. I just spaced. Thank you for doing that, by the way. Thank you for tree subcommittee. Thank you. Okay, next, light bulb exchange. You're on.
I have ordered several samples. They are all LED. They're all roughly of the same ilk, between 60 and 75 watt bulbs. I tested them all out. They essentially have all the same qualities and characteristics. The one that the supplier recommended is this one, which was my preferred one too, because it is damp listed as well as dimmable. So it gives a lot of use cases as opposed to being like, you can only use this kind of thing. It's a nice, simple, warm light. He says it's almost always in stock. It's reliable. And he offered me a quote with a probably like, I don't know, 10% discount or something like that, a little bit more, 15, for 300 light bulbs that would come to 1,896. So it's a pricier bulb. Like some of these others are more like in the $3 range. This is in the $6 range, but it's because it has the extra features. And we have the budget for it as well, I figure. And I don't know, does 300 sound like a reasonable number to start with? That's quite a few to distribute.
That'd be a lot.
Because we have, what, $5,000 for this?
We have 5 grand.
Yeah, that's
It's a chunk of change.
yeah. it's a chunk.
But also, we don't want like too many bulbs, because then it's a store.
Yeah, exactly.
Who knows what happened.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right. So we don't need to order all at once.
Had I remembered, I would have brought a lamp along to show you.
Should we get an assortment or just go with the one?
I felt like we should just go with the one because it did offer all such flexibility and it's just a lot less choice. And it's dimmable, so like you can stick it on a dimmer and change the level to it. Plus, you don't want to be like, we only have 30 watts left, and you want the. Okay. And we can try that, and if it turns out people ask for other types of bulbs, we can consider doing that in the next round.
Is one of the cheaper ones is there a cheaper one that's comparable that just doesn't have the damp?
No, it doesn't. These aren't damp or dimmable.
Or dimmable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not necessarily the most common combination.
Yeah.
So what what Heather had recommended is that we have like a process and procedure. So maybe, so how are we gonna actually distribute these? Like, what does that mean? So that means that we only give out to City of Hudson residents, that they have to sign a form,
Right.
blah, blah, blah.
And we sort of tabled all those specifics until we were ready to move ahead with it,
Right.
but now we are. Okay.
Okay, and so we just need like a process and procedure. Like 300 bulbs will be like how much space?
I would,
Like this, like the height, I don't know,
I don't know, I would guess it's like a couple of boxes.
a couple boxes.
Yeah.
So that's an email to Rob Perry because he said he had the storage space for us.
Okay.
So tell him that we would want to order 300 light bulbs, where do we store them, and then he will give us access to that space too, he said.
All right. So I'll contact him and then I'll look back at my notes on what we talked about various distribution models and put together some options that I can bring to the next meeting and throw out there. Yeah. All right.
We just, right, is it a light bulb exchange? Do we have to take light bulbs in?
We're sort of back and forth on that, yeah.
Do we limit it to one per household?
Are there specifics around the grant that was given to us around what's required?
No, but we just need to do that for our own sake, otherwise
Yeah.
we're gonna get angry people.
Yeah.
No, we already have to check.
Yep. But I don't know if there's something like the Harry Howard, if there is a series of proofs that we have to provide.
I'm hoping we can avoid the collecting, like the exchange.
I'm hoping that too, yeah.
We're gonna do it.
Bulb.
Yeah, what we're gonna do with these other bulbs. I just say make them available to Hudson, City of Hudson residents.
But I will look into, if people want to exchange, like maybe we can offer the option, I'll look into potential recycling programs that still exist around the area.
Yeah.
There aren't many, like Lowe's or Home Depot used to do it, I don't know if they still.
Send an email to the woman who runs the Greenport transfer station. I don't know, but they would know.
Right.
They would totally know what to do with who.
I go there all the time.
There you go. They will totally tell you what to do with the.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll move it along. EV car grants. Okay, folks. Last month, we just got $87,500 for electric.
How much?
vehicles. 87 grand.
Wow.
Yes. So the state awarded it to us. Yay. I met with them, I had a first project meeting, and we're getting it in like 3 different chunks, 4 different chunks, and then what we're going to be doing is I got a quote for like 70-something thousand, for like 7,000 for three, similar to what we have back here behind City Hall. We're gonna do 3 charging stations with 6 ports down by the Amtrak station, by, in the city parking lot there.
Mhm.
Not the Amtrak lot, but the lot across the street,
Mhm.
that the city owns the land.
Awesome.
And then over here, what we're going to get is a level 3 charging station,
Mm.
which is similar to what they get on, the throughways. The level 2s, which are currently, which you're gonna put down there, those give like 25 miles an hour charge. The level 3 give you about like 100 miles an hour charge. So level 3, people can come, charge, have lunch, and then they'll have like more than a charge to like go to the next place. The level 2s are more like overnight charging. But yeah, filled out a few forms. State gives you money,
That's great.
yay.
Brava.
We have to follow the whole thing through, but it's a process. I have 3 years to get this implemented. And hopefully it'll get in one the first year. But yeah, now you just have to like jump through the hoops and then they get you the money. So anyway, yeah.
Which lot by the train station?
Where the kiosk is, right across from
Yeah.
Amtrak.
It's like isn't it gravel?
Yeah.
Yes and no. You know where that kiosk is? If you go past the Amtrak and then make a left.
Right past the caboose.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a city lot, right? Not the
That's-
paved lot?
The paid lot, the paid lot is a city-owned lot.
Yes, that's
Paved
city.
lot, gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, that's where we're going now, and people have asked me for that there, and that is a good spot for people who are like doing overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next lot will probably be like maybe the lot by, I don't know, the lot by Red Dot or something like that. All right, moving on. Pollinate Garden Center entrance done, Arbor Day. Aaron and I met with Rob Perry about the potential. Is Aaron online? We met with Rob Perry about it. I mean, it seems fine, actually.
I don't, what do you?
Arbor Day,
About
sorry.
planting?
Planting the tree.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have, she mentioned that we finalized the spots. I know we aren't gonna do around fire stations, so we're shifting those to 2
Yeah,
other
yeah,
new
yeah.
locations. And the RFP, I revised and sent to Crystal. I haven't heard back from her yet. But in my opinion, it's probably ready. My one question was around, she raised the question around the 1-year warranty. My one caveat on that was the city is not responsible for caring for those, it's the owners. So can we say, okay, if that owner doesn't take care of the tree, you have to replace it for us after a year? I mean, the original RFP for the last planting did not include a 1-year warranty. So I don't know if that was why, or if it's just an oversight from that time.
I
Any
mean,
opinions?
once we give them the tree, I mean, if we give them a tree, like we give them a lemon tree, so to speak, like a dead tree,
Yeah,
and it just dies.
yes.
Do they replace it?
We've stuck it in there for now, so we'll see how people respond. As Sam has brought up in the past too, having an RFP to have 9 trees planted is kind of a big ask for most nurseries.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're gonna try and just like go to them and get the quotes as well and sort of submit on their behalf as long as they agree to our terms.
Well, we're gonna do the 2 plantings at once, yeah?
We are, so basically I'm thinking because we're not gonna encumber all those funds over, I'll just probably hold this as long as I can get her, get Crystal's response to agree on the verbiage. And then we can revise with the additional tree locations for the line. Yeah, my one follow-up question around that is who do we talk to about updating the Google Doc that aggregates those tree requests? Like we fulfilled them, but they don't depopulate the spreadsheet and I don't wanna mess with their codes.
Justin Weaver would know.
Justin Weaver? would?
Justin Weaver, mayoral assistant.
All right.
Because that was the spreadsheet that Michael Hoffman started. Are you sure Justin has?
No, I'm not sure, but Justin.
It's the best step.
If that doesn't work, we can ask Michael.
Michael
This back up.
Which Michael?
Michael Hoffman.
Okay,
I'm happy to ask him if Justin doesn't have access.
gotcha. All right, cool. That's it.
Yay, thank you. Columbia County Climate Smart Communities. Any updates?
No real updates. There's the Capital District Heat Smart Program. Christina Bonsack, based in Germantown, is interested in coordinating a meeting for residents about energy saving techniques and such in Hudson, probably in April. There's a planning committee. They're doing one in Glacier coming up, and then she wanted to definitely do one in Hudson. So I'm gonna meet with her in the new year and can provide more information. And if anyone is interested in being part of planning,
I am interested in that.
for the PM, and then we can
Yep.
just hear more what she's thinking. And
In terms of the, yeah.
so that was the only update that came out of the last meeting that I would pass along.
Balance by Park and Multi-Star. I don't know if we still have this on the agenda. I don't know if there's any movement on this, or if we can do anything about this. Maybe I take this off the agenda. The fountains, I'm sorry, fountains by the park on State between Third and Fourth. They don't work, and I know that Mel's and Play Pop had asked about them.
They willing to fund, are they willing to fund Dixieland? Like Mel's?
There's the one down there, yeah, which used to work not that
Yeah.
long ago.
I mean, if you could we could get them to
To pay
pay for their, what essentially is turned into like Mel's seating area,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I think it's a Rob Perry question. I don't think that it's an easy fix.
Yeah.
I guess.
You probably have to bring concrete.
Yeah.
They're not breaking concrete.
CESF, is that you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a grant that SUNY applied for to work with the city of Hudson. I haven't heard anything from them, so I don't think they've heard anything from the Hudson River Foundation, who's issuing the.
No update. Heck, I don't know, pronounce it. Hecate.
I think it's, yeah, it's like it's a year or something.
Do we have any update on that? I haven't heard anything.
Yeah, someone was criticizing it, though, right?
That was me, probably.
Yeah.
You were responding,
Yeah.
Did you reach out? I know Troy had reached out from CLC to you about just having a conversation with us. The president of Columbia Land Conservancy. And I wasn't sure if you responded to him to invite him in, or if that was just.
I don't know.
Because he had more background on it, right? Quite a bit.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. So I should invite him to a meeting,
Or
see what they have to
see
say.
if he has, he seemed interested in just connecting.
Because they have a different point of view on that.
Yep.
Yeah, or it could be a call, like it could also be a call if people wanted to join or something.
All right, maybe we'll invite them to the next meeting or something. Fair enough. All right, I'm sorry, I missed that one. Countywide stakeholders meeting? Should that still be on the agenda? Oh, that's that
That's a
new
new
thing. That's the
email.
new email from Linda that I forwarded to everyone.
What is this?
I don't remember what that, wasn't it this, it was last week or earlier this week?
Last week.
Uh,
I sent that to everyone.
yeah, I remember seeing it, but I don't.
I don't know, I couldn't deal with it last week. It was Thanksgiving, it's celebrating. Holidays. All right, we'll follow up on this.
Oh, this is the Land Conservancy as well. Yeah. Okay, so.
All right, we'll go look at that. So I'll follow up on the solar farm and then we'll stakeholders. Okay, good. Here we go. 3 minutes. Okay. Okay, for our, thank you very much. For the rest of our time today is we have Michelle who'd like to present for, that's a plan, comprehensive plan. There we go.
You're the housing justice director, is that your?
First of all, very impressed by that agenda. You guys do a lot of stuff, which I knew, but just like hearing all of it, very impressive. So I'm Michelle Tulo. I work for the city. I'm the housing director. I'm also an urban planner by background, and I worked on long-range planning in my previous role. So that's kind of the one facilitating the comprehensive plan update for the city. So I'm just gonna give like a brief overview of the process if you're not familiar, and then I really want to talk to you all about your interest in providing feedback on recommendations that relate to conservation, et cetera. Josh is on our steering committee, so Josh has been a great guidance and thinking about climate. So the comprehensive plan is, I think the last one was in 2002. So time to revisit, where's the city at? So when the process kicked off late spring, we began looking at existing conditions. We're working with a consultant called Public Works, who's based in the Hudson Valley in the city. And they did a good job of looking through I sent them all of your plans. They read through a lot of the work you all have done. So they wanted to build upon that. And then we did an engagement process, surveying residents. I'll let you know that 96% of people are concerned about climate change in Hudson. So that came up through as a big item. And we think about, when this plan was made in the early 2000s, things have drastically changed since then. So it's a theme that we want to forefront in this plan. And we've done surveys, we've done focus groups. We have a workshop coming up this Monday that I'll give you flyers for to look at draft recommendations. So after looking at the conditions, after people were concerned about what they want to see, now we're at the point we're thinking about recommendations for the city's plan about what should the city be focusing on, how we want to see ourselves growing, building, changing over the next 10 to 15 years. So I think climate, conservation, environment is related to literally everything, but we do have a theme that's really focused on like resilient Hudson. And so what I wanted to ask you all, we have a list of draft strategies for the plan. This is the very beginning of the recommendation phase, and we have a couple months to like refine these, get more into the specifics of what's implementable, whatever. So if you'd like, I'll share them with you. And if you want, we can just talk about them tonight and you can give me a sense of, are we on the right track? What else should we be looking at? And then we can follow up as much as you would like in the coming weeks, whether it's sending me an email or a phone call or talking to Josh or coming back to get more into how can we kind of keep refining these recommendations. So I'll pass those around. And I know this is like your first time looking at these. So again, this is just kind of like want to introduce the process to y'all and see, whatever level of interest you have. And I'm always open to talk.
There you go.
So where these came from was going through a lot of the plans that you all and the city have already had, and then also looking at the feedback we've received from residents. There might be things that are missing, there might be things that, these aren't relevant anymore, whatever.
Just like, what's the best way to give feedback for like?
I guess it's up to you all. If you want, you can go one by one, or like through the different strategies, or if you want to just like pick a couple and talk about them.
I think like the first one, the thing that feels missing is stormwater separation, which is like a big like DPW priority right now.
That was the first thing I thought of as well.
Yeah. Like I know that they have like a plan. I don't know exactly. It's like a 20-year plan to do it. So I feel like that's should end up in the plan. But it is their plan,
right?
What?
It's
Already done, but it's like giant.
Yeah.
It's like a multi-decade sort of project.
Yeah, even things that are in progress, I mean, we'd be in here.
Yeah.
Just like a keep on going.
Yeah.
Great, okay. Yeah, there's talk about stormwater infrastructure, disaster preparation, natural disaster recovery, tree ordinance we got in there.
Nice.
And also kind of going back to your earlier discussions, is a place to think about what else do y'all need in terms of capacity or infrastructure to kind of help implement some of these.
I mean, for C, 25 trees a year, I mean, we asked for that money in the budget this past year and it was denied. So we're trying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even 25 trees a year, figure each tree is about like $2,000-ish to between buying the tree and planting the tree and blah, blah, blah. You're talking like, 2 grams times 25. So, yeah, it's a chunk of change. And I think we got 15,000 this past year. So, I mean, that can be easily solved.
And an infrastructure like a parks director or
Yeah,
that type, which I know has been in conversations for a while, but that type of development could also support this.
one of the things we've been talking about on the tree committee is trying to create some sort of Hudson greenkeepers to leverage community who wants to get involved, because I think what we focus a lot on is planting trees. There's not a lot of focus on maintenance or care. So you can see a lot of the old growth trees in the city are utterly neglected, tree pits overgrown. So it's great that we stick new ones in, but if the ones that actually are giving us canopy already aren't taken care of, it's a major issue.
That goes back to the grant, but we did apply for
Yeah,
last year, the year before.
for tree removal, right?
Tree removal.
Yeah.
But it was removal / maintenance.
Yeah, because I would like to pursue that more, and that's what I'm looking at next year is more grants around that. Sorry, tangential.
Yeah, I think this is like a dream list right now, like,
Yeah.
and then also implementation is,
Yeah,
that's something that we're, so I think it's like putting all the ideas out there and also thinking about what's the implementation.
Yeah.
So for the compost program, sorry, I'm going with strategy D. I went to Scarsdale and talked a little bit who runs their compost program. It's a lot of work. It's not that it can't be done, but you really have to get buy-in from the community. They have a thing where you pay $20, you get a compost bin, you get your compost bags, and then they have bins set up by their DPW station where people come and they put in their compost and they take that's taken away to some composting lab in Ulster County. So it's a big ordeal.
and the question is, do they have a system, do they have a regular garbage service in place that's part of the tax base, as opposed to buying $1 blue bags? We don't necessarily have a garbage service that services everyone to begin with. So if you're now saying, oh, you're gonna pick up compost as well,
Well, people would drop the compost off.
they'll drop it off. Okay, sorry.
Doesn't the county already have this?
Yeah. See, I do that with
Yeah.
at the compost.
You do.
I do $60 a year to go up there and I got my compost on.
Yeah.
I didn't actually know the county had that.
Yeah, I agree.
Maybe they knew they picked it up.
It's actually good. They have a whole composter
Yeah.
machine.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
like a digester.
I
Yeah,
wonder if we
But
could
the county
coordinate
did
that.
that since when?
Yeah.
So-
and Greenport.
we kind of do already because our recyclables, they're there. So we would be bringing, DPW would be bringing, or we would have a place where people drop off their compost, which would then go to the composter.
Mhm.
But like I said, right now, you can just do it, and if you pay the $60 a year, you can bring your compostables there.
Or Kite's Nest, or they used to accept also at a fee, I think.
Right.
To the garden.
The farmer's market had a compost bin that people could drop off on. So there's a town in Belgium that gave everyone 3 chickens.
As a composting, yeah, or a bucket of worms.
It saved the city like thousands and thousands of dollars, plus everyone got eggs.
Yeah.
And, yeah,
I'll take 2.
I mean, I would still love to see a municipal compost program that connects to the county efforts.
Yeah.
I think that would be
I mean, just really like getting stuff there.
Yeah.
But it just seems, just the gap between now and that feels enormous.
I mean, the thing is, okay, I'm also on the city's finance
Yeah.
committee, the chair of the finance
Yeah.
committee. So all this is all possible.
Yeah,
It's just,
everything is possible, yeah.
right, it's just time and money.
Yeah.
So, I
And
mean,
it's just like, what's the additional marginal cost beyond the recycling program we already have,
Mm-hmm.
et cetera, right? Like,
see, what happened was that the recycling market dropped.
yeah,
So China's like, no, we're not taking your
Mhm.
Yeah.
recycled garbage anymore. So we now are losing money on recycling.
Mhm.
Whereas before, so the city picks it up for free.
Mhm.
And I'm a fan of the blue bag program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it does tell people to like limit your amount of garbage and
Yeah.
encourages recycling,
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah.
Great.
It's all the. Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And encourage recycling.
Yeah.
The
It's a good
hippiest time,
point,
so,
yeah. But we don't have as systemized a garbage, as systemized
just.
I think.
Yeah. But like I said, like my point is that right, anything can happen with enough money. And like the Parks Department person, it's like, oof, I don't know if that's gonna even happen.
Yeah.
Are there any other strategies or like things you think could be done better for like waste management? And composting is maybe hard to implement, you know, is there
Or-
anything else?
I think it just, yeah, go ahead.
I was just, things like, for example, how do you recycle paint cans? I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in the city all the time, and there's not much information about, just one day a year or something when they mix
Yeah.
out, and no one knows when the hell it is and what they do. If there was more information just about that, and more access to being able to, you know, maybe 2 days a year when you can bring your paint can. I mean, I know there's, through Dunn's, I think, they have a program where you can bring your, you know, half cans of paint and they'll buy them, you know, and remix them and whatever, which is great. But again, no one knows about that. So anything along those lines probably would be really helpful. Because again, there's just so much construction in Hudson now and painting and remodeling and everything else, and no one knows what to do with the half cans.
I mean, I don't necessarily have the idea of how this happens, you know, on a governance level, but much more of the conversation these days is around waste reduction. How do we minimize, you know, use of plastic bags, use of plastic materials? We don't even have recycling canisters on the street at this point, at least not commonly. But we don't even want them to recycle at this point. We want them to stop using plastic.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a bigger question. I think a lot of communities are
At
struggling.
one point, I looked into reusable coffee cups,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the county regulation is that you can use a reusable coffee cup if it's standardized or if you're pouring it yourself. So like Stewart's and Nolita, where you go and you bring your coffee cup and you pour the coffee yourself, you can bring your own cup. And Stewart's gives you like a discount, right? $1.62 for reusable coffee. Because I use that. Or like the Starbucks cup is a standard cup that you can go and get at Starbucks. Otherwise, if you were to actually go into, I think, all those garbage cans on Orange Street, it would be mostly water bottles and coffee cups, which would be a lot of things.
Yeah.
The water bottles, I would also love to see, like it's Tom DiPietro, that when they set up that park over here by Old Mexican Radio, to put in a water bottle refilling station, which there's one down by Promenade Hill Park right now, it doesn't work, but it would be nice.
No, it apparently does.
They turn it
Or
on.
he thought it worked. He was not informed that it did not.
I thought the spray or splash pad gun.
Oh, that's a whole different
Yeah,
story.
that was a whole.
Hullabaloo, yeah, I don't know.
There is one, I tried it a couple months ago,
Didn't work.
didn't work.
Yeah.
Splash pad is sad.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, sorry, we were just chatter forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm just like gonna get them just running
Yeah,
through.
yeah,
Draft
yeah,
it,
yeah.
conscious of time, and then I think we maybe follow up on like how you want it.
Yeah.
So there was an FE was about land use rules, not healthy food options. I think this came from, I don't know if it was, I think it was public input. I don't know how realistic that is. I think the idea is about instead of everyone driving to ShopRite, Aldi, having more walkable local food. Again, I think these are things that are really hard to implement, but
Was this around like zoning restrictions around restaurants, zoning restrictions around food retail? Like what?
I think the idea is to loosen up zoning that would allow, that wouldn't not prevent any like other restaurants or small grocers or businesses. And I think the idea of thinking of a lot of businesses have to be kind of centered on one street. I think that's where the recognition is coming from. Didn't know if any of the other discussed or.
And maybe insert the possibility of affordable.
Yeah.
food business.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of food in Hudson. But it's-
I'm also thinking too, we have like a whole another theme that's all about like livable Hudson and thinking about the economics. And I'm also wondering if y'all have ideas about kind of like green economy, you know, and economic economic, just kind of things that are more about economic development that are also being related. So I put that on there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back to my coffee cup.
Yeah.
If there was a Hudson Standard coffee cup,
Uh,
that all, like a portable, like one like the Starbucks ones.
yeah.
And that the stores would buy into,
Mhm.
if people could buy that, they could, you have a refillable coffee cup as opposed to throwing it away.
Or some sort of incentive that businesses that have coffee would have reusable ones that, I don't know what that looks like. I know Otto's in Germantown had a coffee club program. They had the same cups and you had a number on your cup. It's the same one. I think COVID happened and they stopped that. But that type of program, I think, could be incentivized in different ways.
I mean, I know the bodega on State and Third is now vacant. That space
Yeah.
for rents. Yeah, I don't know.
The North Bay Strategy F, I think that's in progress with CLC, acquiring that North Bay property. And I think this was from the DRI and the lots covered in that area with park updates and kite nest. I didn't know if you guys had other thoughts.
I'm a heavy waterfront user. I would almost encourage expanding it to the South Bay as well, which is the city owns most of the surrounding wetland, and then East Jesus, which is city-owned property, which you currently can only access by trespassing on the Amtrak access road, but everyone does. And then, I mean, both of the bays are accessible by boat, so, yeah.
I'd love to see a project like they have in Chicago, in the river where there are flotation plantings along the river that help to clean the bottom, and they're terrific. I forget the name of it, I'll find it. But it's a really good project. You'd love
I
to
feel like
do something like that.
unless you've like spent some time with the GIS data, you don't even realize that the city owns this like other little chunk of waterfront park beyond the waterfront park that you think of. There's like another parcel on the other side of Col Russo that the city owns that is undeveloped.
That's on the other side.
Yeah, but like, and there's no way to access it other than by trespassing on Amtrak or by boat. So I don't know if that's practical for parkland, but it's sort of always been a dream of mine. After realizing that the city owned this like waterfront parcel.
Where's it located?
So there's the waterfront park where the boat club and stuff is, the Col Russo dock.
Yep.
And then the next parcel.
So it's to the south of that.
Yeah.
Got you, okay.
Amtrak won't stop you if you just.
Yeah, you can just walk down there.
Down there.
Yeah.
What about thoughts on energy efficiency or water efficiency? Something that we're also talking about, but not on here, is looking at if the city, once it goes to rezone in the future, moving more towards perhaps performance zoning, that's looking more at how our buildings and spaces affect the environment and less at, you have to like only have these uses in this district or whatever. That's what some places have done. I'm not sure if y'all on that.
The Climate Smart, on their website, they have points that should be written into a new comprehensive plan.
Around energy efficiency, yes.
All about all of it, actually.
Yes.
The Climate Smart,
Yes, yes.
right, there's a whole action item on redoing a comprehensive plan and including all of the Climate Smart action items.
Okay.
Yeah, so do you have access to that or no? I'll send you, but there's a document on it.
If we check those off, we get bonus.
Exactly.
So we should check that. So I said, start up doing that in January. See what's.
Yeah, I think it's a good place for, we can look at those. And then if you want to talk more about how you want to continue with these and they want to put, they think.
The final time by April?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there going to be another committee meeting after the draft comes out Yeah.
Yeah, January.
in January, before the first draft?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I'm happy to return. I'm happy to talk on email or phone or whatever. We can get more into things or we can look at those items on the smart list. Any questions or thoughts?
Would it be ideal for us to have any feedback to you? I mean, if you got your draft plan by February, it would seem to me if we did have anything to say, we should contribute by January at the latest, right?
Yeah, I would like to work through this through January and
Mhm.
have the feedback in January. And I'm also going to give you flyers year round, as your friends around, like say we're having a workshop at Sparker Hudson. We're going to have all different topic areas and a couple of recommendations. So lots of pizza and stuff.
The child care.
Okay, yeah, some activities for kids. And it's drop in, so drop in at any time and, give some thoughts. It's a busy time of year.
I like the recommendation.
Thank you all for your time.
Thank you.
And I'm happy to also funnel, like
Yeah.
if people have responses to this or other thoughts, I'm happy to bring them to that meeting in January, if that's useful too.
When is our January?
The 7th.
7.
Should we aim to have any other thoughts to you by then?
That'd be great.
The climate smart stuff does outline all of the actions.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Could be a great
Forgot about that.
guideline, right?
You're right, so right.
Has the committee been looking at that at this point? or-
No, it hasn't.
It's basically have access to.
I've been looking at like these pieces, but
Yeah,
not, which are, I'm sure in there as
That was
well.
one thing
in
I
that
wanted
list,
to
but-
do in January, when I went through my personal jobs.
Mm.
January would be free, so I thought, well, just to revisit, and if we could start to get, the meeting going
Right,
and check those off and then go down the list of things that we could do easily.
yeah. Myself, Michael Hare, and Tom O'Dowd, we had gone through at one point, looking at all the climate smart action items, which are just like, it's hard to even just read them all and understand them all. But there was one on a comprehensive plan, things that we should be writing into our comprehensive plan. And like all of these things are all climate action items, really.
Yeah.
Water
Yeah.
management,
You're right.
compost. Well, yeah, I mean, they just give us points if we have a compost program, but it's a long one.
I mean, maybe the thing to do is like the partnering with the county. The county already has a program. It's like, how do you knit this into it?
Exactly.
I mean.
And like, you're you, you didn't know that the county had this. I just checked, by the way, it's May 2023, when they bought the digester.
Okay. And maybe there used to be a digester down at Basilica that I
Yeah.
think went to fire. County, yeah.
Yeah.
So like $500,000.
They probably got a grant.
Anything else? Did we cover enough today?
Covered it.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the votes, by the way.
Oh, sure.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you for coming.
Thank
you.
Sorry, I forgot my lamb. Did you all want a demo? I'd be like, this
did.
one looks the
Yeah.
same, and this one looks the same.
Yeah.
This one also looks the same.
But dimmer. Yeah, it's probably all from the same factory, right? Like it's-
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're all
Yeah,
the
giant.
I had one for. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Yeah, all right, call for adjournment.
Yeah.
Meeting adjourned, yeah, second. Thank you, Linda.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yay.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, happy holidays.
And all the rest of them.